Hello, everyone. And for those of you who registered to join our workshop, I think we've had some technical difficulties. So we did want to still record for all of you guys the information. You are going to get a ton of emails just wrapping up, and you will get the recording as well. So thank you for joining me today and taking the time to learn a little bit more about what it is to live with PCOS. My name is Indira Santana. I am the founder of My Wellness Solutions, and I have spent the last 15 years working with men and women, really on everything having to do with hormones, nutrition, and really helping to help you regain control of your health. Um, at My Wellness Solutions, for those of you who do not know us, welcome. We are a holistic health center located in Harlem, New York. And really, our motto is caring for you today and advocating for you always. We focus on detox and cleansing. A lot of the work that we do really starts from the inside out. You cannot expect to have a fully functioning body if you are not, hitting the reset button. We focus a lot on contouring, weight loss, skin health, and really one of my favorites is fertility and hormone health. And fertility and hormones, everything from PCOS, which we will talk about today, to menopause, to just helping women hit the reset button as it relates again to their fertility. Really helping to give you the answers that you are not receiving from your primary care physician or your GYN that is constantly dismissing you. So really, let's talk about it. Why are we so obsessed with reproductive health? And obviously 1 in 10 women have PCOS, but aside from that, the female body is it's not very studied in medicine. Women you can go. I mean, I'm sure many of you guys have gone to your PCP, have gone to your GYN, and are telling them all slews of symptoms. And really what they're telling you is either get on birth control. That's the first one. Lose some weight, but not really giving you the tools that you need to achieve those things, because weight loss becomes very difficult when you are living with PCOS, and one of the many symptoms that we'll continue to talk about. So really, it's putting women first, and helping again you guys to take control of your health. And for those of you who are already diagnosed with PCOS, I invite you to take a moment to just reflect on what it means to be PCOS or symptom free. And what are your symptoms really? Are you the irregular period, no period in 5 months? Every month you're freaking out that you're pregnant, or every month you're just waiting for your period to come that never comes? Or your GYN put you on the pill to regulate your period? Or you've been diagnosed with PCOS and the first thing you think about is, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to get pregnant. Not true. You're on metformin, but everything is the same. Your facial hair or body hair in general is out of control and just makes you feel super ashamed or self-conscious. Your hormones are just all over the place, and you really don't know what's going on with your body, or you've been diagnosed with PCOS and you can't lose weight. So we're going to talk about all of these things today. And at the end, I do invite you to take advantage and schedule a wellness exam. And we'll talk more about that as we go. So how are you diagnosed? Really, you need 2 of the 3 symptoms below to be diagnosed for PCOS. It's either cysts in your ovaries, irregular periods, or high male hormones. So that is your testosterone. And ironically, we see more of the irregular periods and high hormones versus cysts in the ovaries. There's just been a lot of change in general in in changing the name of PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, right? Because it's not just about cysts. It now becomes a hormonal situation or hormonal imbalance in your body. So talking about PCOS, what are the symptoms, right? So it's self-esteem, it's insulin resistance, it's difficulty losing weight, it's excessive acne, hair loss, male pattern baldness. You're finding that you're like losing too much hair. It's infertility or subfertility, right? What is subfertility? Under 6 months that you've been trying. 1 year is that you've been trying. Then that becomes when you're having fertility issues, pregnancy complications, irregular periods, and it can also lead to heart disease in the future. So there are 4 different PCOS types. And as you are living with PCOS, it is extremely important to know what is your PCOS type, right? So there is insulin resistant PCOS. And so this one is usually caused with high insulin levels, which can prevent ovulation and stimulate the ovaries to produce excess testosterone. So what are some of the symptoms of the insulin resistant PCOS? That's going to be weight gain or difficulty losing weight, always craving carbohydrates, dark skin in the back of your neck, and just general fatigue. And we'll talk about how to manage better if you are the insulin resistant PCOS as we continue to go through the presentation. But really, exercise and good supplementation is going to be really, really important. And supplements, for example, like inositol or berberine to help you with your insulin resistance. There is the post-pill PCOS, and that PCOS emerges after discontinuing birth control, and then your ovulation just doesn't resume. So that's going to be symptoms like irregular periods or acne or hair loss after you have come off of the pill. And for you to manage your PCOS, you have to be patient. It's going to take several months for your hormones to stabilize after stopping birth control. So it really becomes a situation of reducing stress and focusing on anti-inflammatory foods. Then we have the inflammatory PCOS. So this one is more common than really a lot of the others because it is caused by chronic inflammation that triggers your ovaries to produce excess testosterone. And then that is what disrupts normal ovulation. Symptoms like fatigue or psoriasis or IBS, so digestive issues, come with inflammatory PCOS. Unexplained aches and pains, elevated inflammatory markers. And really, to help support this PCOS type, you want to adopt an anti-inflammatory rich diet. And inflammation comes from everywhere. And we'll talk a little bit more about what is inflammation in a second, but you want to make sure that you're eating your omega-3s and lots of antioxidants and fibers, and reducing environmental toxins and stress reduction. Stress causes inflammation in our bodies, and I want you all to remember that, okay? Then we have adrenal PCOS, and this is the last one. And adrenal PCOS is caused by an overproduction of your androgen, so that's like your DHEA, from your adrenal glands, and it's often due to chronic, guess the word, stress. So some of these symptoms are you have high DHEA, and in labs, in our wellness exam, we do test your DHEA levels. We want to make sure that your DHEA levels are in balance, because high DHEA causes anxiety or trouble sleeping and sometimes hair loss and thinning as well. So if you have adrenal PCOS, you really want to focus on stress management, mindfulness, meditation. You want to maybe adaptogens like ashwagandha or rhodiola are going to help you just keep calm, and balancing blood sugar levels and just overall eating regular meals so that you can support your adrenals in not getting overactive. So understanding your PCOS type is really what's going to help you tailor a treatment plan that's going to be more effective. And many times, again, as we go to our primaries or GYN, the struggle really is that we don't really often get access to the right labs, right? So really doing a comprehensive wellness exam and you knowing what the ideal markers are going to be crucial, because PCOS is just about managing all of your symptoms. This is not um, a, 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 a negative diagnosis. I mean, it's negative, but it's not a life or death situation. You can live with PCOS and be symptom free. It really becomes about just understanding your body and doing what you need to do in order to support it. So, as we look at PCOS, there's 4 key markers that I invite you to go take a look at your last round of labs. If your doctor did not pull these markers and you are already PCOS diagnosed, I encourage you to find another primary care physician or GYN, because these are very, very basic PCOS markers that you really should understand. So starting with testosterone, right? And this is going to be your total testosterone and your free testosterone. The ideal range is always going to be in between 50 and 70 for your total, and 0.3 to 1.9. So why it's important, right? Elevated testosterone is common in PCOS, and that's usually what leads to symptoms like hair growth, acne, or irregular periods, right? So for you ladies who are high in your testosterone, then you want to incorporate a low glycemic index diet. So low sugar diet. You want to exercise and you want to consider supplementation, like for example, DIM to support your estrogen metabolism. Then we look at what is your ratio between your LH and your FSH, right? So women with PCOS often have elevated FSH to LH ratios. Then that leads to poor ovulation and menstrual irregularities. How do we manage that? Stress reduction, inositol, meditation, maintaining a healthy weight. Even if it's a small, like you can lose 5 pounds and it's still going to be helpful to balance your LH and FSH ratios. Then we want to look at your fasting insulin. So it's important because insulin resistance is very, very common in women with PCOS. And this is usually what contributes to the weight gain, the fatigue, the irregular periods. So you want to make sure that you are really following a anti-inflammatory diet as much as possible, but also regular activity is going to really help you support your hormones as well. Vitamin D, and this is not just about going out in the sun. You want to have super optimized vitamin D levels. And I invite you to think about this as even you want to have your vitamin D between, I want to say 60 and 70 instead of 30 to 100. You want to be in that middle marker whenever you're looking at optimizing your blood work. So many women with PCOS are vitamin D deficient, and then this just worsens symptoms like your mood or again, weight gain. So aside from spending time outside, you want to make sure that you're consuming vitamin D rich foods. So salmon, sardines, and you want to make sure that you are taking 2,000 to 4,000 units of vitamin A, D, and K. So not just D3. Your body needs A and K in order to process your D. So again, ADK supplementation is going to be best. So really, we start to see, how do we get here, right? How do we get to so many women being diagnosed with PCOS? It's the stress. It's the stress in our lifestyles. It's the stress of the news. It's the stress of social media. It's the stress of comparison syndrome. It's stress. It's your job. It's everything. So we really do have to find ways to manage our stress. And again, adaptogens, ashwagandha are going to help just keep us calm. Then we have hormone disruptors, which are absolutely everywhere. Our skincare, plastic containers, in our food. In so many different places, we're going to find hormone disruptors. And for someone with PCOS who already has a hormone hormone imbalances, taking in all of these hormone disruptors just exacerbates the problem. And then diet induced inflammation. So our cravings for sweets, our donuts, our ice cream, bad processed carbs and foods. There's just so much when we talk about our diet, and really having a low or zero anti-inflammatory diet is going to be best for someone who has PCOS, for the reasons that we've already mentioned before, right? You want to keep your testosterone down. You want to keep your insulin in check. You want to keep your LH and FSH ratio in order. So those are all of the things that are going to help support. And on top of that, having a compromised detox system, right? So when you are not properly digesting, all of those toxins are just staying in your body. So you need to work on constantly detoxing in order to help support your PCOS symptoms. So what are the lifestyle changes that we want to make sure that we talk about as we are exploring PCOS? So it's going to be low starch, low dairy, 100% whole grains, reducing our stress, routine cleansing, and using really the best supplements that are suited for you. And you're not going to know what your best supplementation is unless you know your blood levels, right? So doing a comprehensive wellness exam where we're checking all of your over 60, over 100 actually different markers to help you understand where you're feeling right now. We get you feeling good, and then we do your labs again when you're feeling good. Now you're going to be able to know, listen, this is kind of like where I need to be. And now you don't need to count on your PCP to tell you what you need to be doing, because you've already been educated on your own labs. When we talk about PCOS, carbs are going to be super important, but it's going to be whole grains, your quinoa, sweet potatoes. You want to look at your plate being 50% leafy greens, 25% protein. How many plates, or how many of us, our plates are more of the carb than it is of the green? So you really want to switch that around and look at your plate to be more of your leafy greens, 25% carbs, and 25% of your protein. And we really do need to avoid hormone disruptors. I invite you to download the Think Dirty app. And this app, what it's going to do, you can put all your skincare in there, home, your cleaning, your laundry detergents, everything. And it's going to gauge for you how clean or dirty this product has been rated. And cleaning up those hormone disruptors are really going to make a difference, because your hormones work in lock and key, right? And when we have hormone disruptors, it's not allowing the keys to lock up, as you can see here, right? So these are your receptors, and your hormones need to kind of fall in there. But when we have hormone disruptors, they're not fitting, right? So we need to try to get rid of all of those hormone disruptors that are in our that's in our diet and in our personal care products as well. So it's going to be parabens, plastics, pesticides, and it's all in our food, and it's all in beauty products as well. And really using the right supplementation. So I spoke a little bit about DIM, which is going to be super important. DIM is what helps to keep your estrogen in its lane. You always want to keep all of your hormones in their lane, but then there's also other things, right? So inositol. Many women with PCOS, or very popular product that we sell at My Wellness Solutions, is Ovasitol, which is an inositol. It's a alternative for what is metformin. Garlic, milk thistle. These are all going to be amazing supplements. And again, I really want to invite you to understand where you are deficient, so that you can really focus on giving your body the right supplementation for your individual deficiencies. We cannot treat every single body the same. We are all different. And how do you really take control of your PCOS? If you are not having at least 2 daily abundant bowel movements, and I'm talking about you are not straining when you're having a bowel movement, then you really need to focus on detoxing. If you're not easily sweating, right? So you should be easily sweating when you are, for example, in a sauna. You want to be drenched, that your urine is clear, that your skin is clear, that you're drinking half of your body weight in ounces, that you're eating your veggies, that you're sleeping. And all of these different therapies are really going to help you take control, because the more that you are detoxing, the more that your body is just really, again, working optimally. And so how do we work PCOS at My Wellness Solutions? So we really do, first, everything starts with a blood draw. We want to know what your goals are. We want to know what your worst symptoms are. We work with a full body reset, and this is going to include colonics and lymphatic drainages. And if you do not know what a colonic is, it is one of our star products, star services. At the center, it's just water that goes into your colon and helps you remove impacted waste. Aside from that, lymphatic drainage therapies, your lymphatic system is extremely important to just in general, your immune system as well. And we focus on high quality herbal supplementation that is going to help your hormones, but everything is coming from your hormone panel, and also food sensitivity testing. Not everybody is the same. I can talk to a client and start a cleanse with them and tell them, listen, we're going to drink smoothies every day for the next 3 months with spinach. But then your food sensitivity test comes back and it says that your body is sensitive to spinach. We're just adding more inflammation into your body. So really understanding your food sensitivities. And again, food sensitivities is very different than food allergies. Sensitivities are just markers that are in your bloodstream, and over time, they're going to cause flare-ups, PCOS, inflammation in your bloodstream. It can lead to eczema, psoriasis, and all of these other immune conditions. And really, you're working with us to really hold you accountable in your journey to wellness. I'll share with you some results. I'm constantly working with clients who are having painless periods. I can show you, I can show you some conversations of it's possible to get pregnant with PCOS. The earlier that you start to take care of your symptoms and detox, the better chances you are that your PCOS does not get out of control. In terms of hair loss, it's possible, again, controlling your hormones and really truly detoxing. So if you are someone who is looking forward to taking control of your health, I invite you to schedule a wellness exam with us. We are offering a $100 off the wellness exam. The first step really is to draw your blood. And during the wellness exam, we're going to sit. It's not really timed. It takes about an hour, but really it's about educating you on understanding your markers, on knowing and educating what are your levels, what are the labs that you need to pull, what are the labs that you need to push for. So I invite you to schedule your blood draw, and I hope to work with all of you very soon. Thank you so much, and look forward to working with you.